backgrounds or anything. You don't have to mess around with that kind of stuff. Alright, so that's that. The next thing I want to do is open up Adobe Photoshop CS3. We're going to go to File, New, and just as I showed you, type in the numbers that you had on your wallpaper or on your screen resolution. Mine was 1280 by 800. Yours might be different. I set my resolution to 72. My color mode is RGB mode or RGB color. My background contents, I usually like to start with transparent. Just click OK, and there you go. That's how big my wallpaper is. Alright, basically, scaled down, of course. Okay, the second thing I want to do is lay down a background. Okay, well, my background, I want it to be black. So what I'm going to do here is select this color option to by default, bring out the black and white foreground and background colors. Okay, so I'm just going to go Alt backspace, the Alt key and the backspace key, and that'll automatically fill that layer with the foreground color. Okay, so then that's that. The next thing I want to do is create a new layer, and I want to bring out my logo onto this. So let's go to File. We're going to click Place, and go look for your logo or the picture you want to be the main attention of your wallpaper, or your logo basically. Alright, so now I have my logo here. What I want to do is resize it down a little bit. This way it doesn't look too big, not too small, just medium. Okay, and I want to place it in the upper middle part of my wallpaper. Of course, I do recommend you mess around with this, place things in different places, do whatever you want, make it your own. I don't want you just creating a total copy of this, because then there's no originality in that, you know what I mean? So just go ahead and mess around with this. If you like your logo to be over here, that's totally cool. If you like it over here, that's fine. I actually put mine in the middle here, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to click the check mark. Actually, I'm going to resize it up a little bit. Alright, and check mark. So now we have my logo, and we have our black background, both on different layers. Okay, the next part I want to do is I want to add a text. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer, of course, and go to this text option tool. And as you can see, I have my font set on Technoid, which I'll have the link to this font in the description if you're interested in using it. I think it gives a nice techie feel, in my opinion. I have my font size set to 80 font size. There we go. And depending on how big your screen resolution is, your font size will change. If your wallpaper is smaller than mine is, if your screen is a little bit smaller, your text is going to be smaller. And also depending on how big your logo is, you don't want your text to overwhelm the logo. So, yep. Okay, we're going to set this to white. This is the font color, so it's white. And the next thing I want to do is go ahead and bring out my character settings here. And as you see, I have my Technoid 80-point size font. And I set, which one was it? This one right here, to -50. You can't really see what I'm doing right now. Let me go ahead and type out what I want to do. Okay, so that's comp help right there. And you can see it's set out to -50. If I put it to 0, which is by default how the font comes, you can see it's kind of spaced. I want it a little bit smushed together, but not too much. I think that looks pretty good. And I leave everything the same. So now we have a font. Okay, click the check mark. And there you go, your little font there. This logo's kind of off. Alright, so I'm just going to place it basically under. And you can see it doesn't overwhelm the logo too much. It actually might be a little too small, but I'll set it to 85. Okay. Alright, the next part I want to do is before I add any effects to the font, what I want to do is add the light streaks onto the logo and bring them around the font, come around the font just like that, as you can see in the default in my wallpaper right there. Keep in mind, I most likely will not duplicate the same exact streak I did, because I'm not pro like that, but I will do as good as I can. Alright, so basically I'm going to bring it from up here. No, you know what? I need to show you how to set this up. Get the brush tool. Make sure your brush is set to a nice size. For example, mine is set to 29 right now. If I just make a demo streak next to it, you can see it's way too thick for my logo. It would totally overwhelm the logo and take away that whole aspect. Control Z to undo that. I'm going to bring it down to about 9. Of course, depending on how big your logo is, how big your wallpaper is, you might have a different size. You can see that's a pretty nice size for my logo. So, alright, so I have my brush set to 9. Is about the default one with kind of a little fade-ish edge to it. A little hardness. Actually, it says 100% hard. Alright, well, it's set on 9, the default brush that Photoshop gives me. And I want to go to the pen tool. Make sure it's set on paths. Okay, that's very important. All these things up here are important. Okay, make sure the brush is also set to white, and we're good to go. I want to start up here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start up here, kind of out of the canvas, and just drag my mouse down to about right here in my logo. I'm going to click and hold, and I'm actually going to bring it this way. Click, hold, that way. Click, hold, and then I'm going to go click, hold. Here we go. Then I'm just going to like bring it around like that. So again, it's not exactly how it turned out on the main wallpaper. Let me see. Yep, see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 going through it. I only have 1, 2, 3. I kind of messed up on this one. I'll do it over again for you guys. I'll go. How do I start out going down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. I don't even recall. Okay, well, let's just say, for example, I want to use that. Again, it's not exactly how I did it. Not sure how I did it, but I did it. Okay, so I'm going to press the A key on my keyboard here. I'm going to go and select my path. It's already selected for me, though. Go to stroke path, make sure it's on brush, and simulate the pressure. There you go. You can see I have a stroke right there. Click off of the path and press backspace. There we go. Looks pretty good. Whatever. Next, what I want to do is create a mask so I can make it look like this streak is wrapping around my logo. So I'm gonna make erase too much. Let's say I go, oh dang, I wasn't supposed to erase all that. I just go back to white and revive what I erased. This is not just for the brush tool. This is for like images or anything. It's an effect that Photoshop really gave us. It's a nice little feature Photoshop has. Okay, so what I usually do actually is start with the top streak going over, under, so I'm going to take this part out, so over, under, over, under. That's basically what I do every time I do these streaks. It just helps me think. So, alright, so let's zoom out a little bit. We can see now it looks like it's wrapping around the logo. Now what I want to do is actually add the glowing effect to it. So I'm going to right click this layer and go to blending options, and I'm going to go to outer glow. I'm going to zoom in a bit over here. That's just Control plus, brings the canvas in and out. I want to set this, depending on what color your logo is, of course, you're going to set this to a different color. It could be green, blue, turquoise, whatever you need. Cyan, whatever you need there. I'm going to set it to a red. I don't want it to be too bright of a red. I want it kind of like right here. Click OK. My opacity 100. Make sure blend mode is on screen. My spread. Let me see. Bring down spread and size. Kind of mess around with it. It really depends on your taste. If you like this to be really big, then that's up to you. I mean, that doesn't look good at all. I actually like it to be kind of thin. Range, bring it down a bit. So my settings on this one, my technique is softer, my spread is 9, my size is 18, my range is 65%, my jitter is 0. So that's what I have right there. I'm going to click OK. Go back. So now you can see I have my whole thing going on here. What happened there? What's going on here? Went under and kind of looked ugly. I don't think I reset. It's just the way I made it. Okay, so again, be careful for this over here. I kind of messed up, but kind of looks like it just got chopped off. So it really depends on how you make your line. But this is just for tutorial purposes anyway. So okay, so now I have my glowing line. I have my logo. I have my text, sort of. I'm gonna go ahead and brush up on the text right now. Alright, so we have the glowing line and everything. Everything's good. Let's go back and go to our text. I don't know why. I always like adding the glow effect to my text after, even though it really doesn't matter. That's just what I do. So I'm just going to set this to red. And the funny thing is, when I made this wallpaper, I didn't change any settings besides giving it the original blend mode screen, opacity 75%, technique softer, spread 0, size 5, range 50%. I didn't change a thing. And you can see that in my wallpaper over here. It looks the same because I didn't do anything fancy with it. Alright, so that's basically all I did, do the text. Next, we are going to do the brushes, which is very easy. Okay, so now we're going to do the brushes. We're going to use the brushes. I actually made a tutorial on how to download brushes and such. So here's the annotation somewhere on this video. Click it if you don't know how to use brushes and if you want to learn how. All I'm going to say is I use 2 brushes in this tutorial. The links to them will be in the description. So go ahead, get them, download them, and then come back to this video. Pause this video for the moment, and then come back to this video, watch it, and see what I did. Okay, so I'm going to make a new layer here, and with one of the brushes that I have a link to, go to Brush Tool. It's actually a grid. Okay, so I actually, which one did I use here? I think I used like this one right here. Yep. Okay, so I actually use this grid, and all I'm gonna do is make sure my brush is on white. I'm just gonna go click. There you go. I have a grid there. And you're like, alright, this doesn't look, how yours did on your wallpaper. That's because we haven't added our blend mode yet. Right click that layer and go to blending options and go to gradient overlay. You won't believe how easy this is. All I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this black one right there. I'm going to click this white here, and I'm going to change the color of it to a red. I don't want it for it to be too, like out there, but I want it to be kind of subtle, like kind of a darkish red / lightish. Alright, so right there's nice. I like that. Click OK. Okay. Something you'll notice though is that it looks horrible because this layer is on top. I want to bring it under the logo, right above the background black layer. Okay. So that's that. That's all there is to that really. Next thing I want to do is make another layer here. Make sure it's right above layer 3. And it's just another grid. I'm just gonna, where is it at? I know it's like pointy at the end. This one right here. I used this brush. All I did was I went click. It wasn't even that one. It was even more pointy. Which one was it? This one? Yeah, it's probably that one. Okay, so I just clicked this one, 959. I just went click. Make sure it's with the white. Alright. Right click the layer, go to blending options, gradient overlay, and this time I'm going to bring black on the opposite side. So put it all the way to the end. I'm going to grab this white one, make sure it's selected, and I want to actually sample a color from my other grid. Click OK, OK, and OK. There you go. That's how I had those brushes there. Very simple. You know what? Looking back at this wallpaper, I think this red on this grid is too bright. So I'm gonna go to blending options, go to gradient overlay, bring it down a bit, about right there. Click OK, OK. Alright, so that's that. The second brush I used, I used another brush. I'm gonna make it over layer 4, and I'm gonna give this layer style overlay. I'm going to set my color to a gray. Click OK. And I actually got the other brush that I linked to in the description. And they're actually all these like circle things. They kind of look like alien squares. That's what I like to think of them as. Click anyone that stands out to you. Let's say I like this one. All I'm going to do is I'm going to resize it with my brackets here. And I'm just going to click, click, click. And I'm going to go find another one. Click. And there you go. Done. This one's probably too much out there, so I'm going to go with the eraser tool, erase this one. You don't want it to stand out too much. Click. Alright, let me see. Right there. Done. Done. That's all I did on that wallpaper. So that's how I made this wallpaper. That's how simple it is. Sorry if this video turned out to be really long. It's just, it turned out really long, but it's extremely easy to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know I had fun making it. I'm really glad you guys requested for me to make this wallpaper because I enjoyed making the video. Alright, you know what? These lines right here, see how that glow is kind of coming out? I'm actually going to go fix that. I'm going to go in this black. I'm going to go fix that right now. Hold on a tad. There we go. I know I'm kind of OCD right now. I like to make sure everything's all fixed up. Alright, so nothing kind of shows through. Alright, so there we go. Anyway, glad I made this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's simple wallpaper to do. Hopefully it has inspired you to make different wallpapers with these brushes, with whatever. And if you're proud of your work, go ahead and make a video response and show me what happened. How your new wallpaper came out. I'm always up to see creativity. I'm always up to see people's logos being used in awesome wallpapers. So there you go. And let's say you want to use this wallpaper, just go to File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG or PNG. Save it wherever you want and set it as your wallpaper. It's that easy, guys. So simple. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you like the way this wallpaper turned out. And if you didn't, then hey, that's up to you. It's your own taste. Alright guys, thanks again. Please check out my links. So my website is comphelp.com. My blog is comphelp.info. My Twitter account, follow me on Twitter by going to twitter.com/comphelp. If you want to make extra money online like I do, check out cashcrate.biz. That's basically all I have to say today.